Hello, this is a short video presentation beginning our study of linear functions. Linear functions are functions whose graphs are lines. And we're going to be graphing lines and looking at the equation of lines. To start off with, we need to review some basic terminology from Algebra 1. So let's start with a graph. Our graphs consists of two lines, perpendicular lines called axes. This is the x-axis. I really should use a different color. This is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. They're called axes because every point has an x-coordinate, and a y-coordinate. This locates the point on the plane. The x-coordinate is the direction you go, positive or negative, left or right, right being positive. And the y-coordinate is the direction you go up and down. So if I look at this point right here, in the x direction I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll call it point A. X-coordinate is 5, and the y-coordinate 1, 2, 3. This coordinate over here, this point here, which we'll call B, has an x-coordinate in the negative direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 8, and in the y direction, negative 2. And this point right here, which we'll call C, in the x direction is 0, and in the y direction 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. All right, some other things to note. Where the lines cross here, this is the origin, the beginning, and this is broken up into 4 quadrants. This is quadrant number 1, quadrant number 2, number 3, and number 4. Always using Roman numerals. I expect that you know these basic terms. You learned them in 7th grade and again in Algebra 1. All right, now I want to look at slope. Again, you did this in Algebra 1. Slope of a line is the rise, how much the line goes up, over how much it goes over. Rise over run. And it's really the change in the y-coordinate over the change in the x-coordinate. The triangle is delta, which just means the change. You'll see this in science class. Probably chemistry next year for sure. All right, so let's look at a graph. All right, we have two lines. We'll start with the orange line. And what you want to do is pick a point on this line where you know the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. For instance, right here, the line crosses this grid and it crosses this grid right there. I know exactly what that coordinate is. And now I'm going to go up, dun, 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 dun. I know what this one is. So now I can go From this point here, I pick a point. I'll start here. My rise is 2. My run is 3. I go up 2 and immediately right 3. Up and right. My slope which is abbreviated m, is 2 over 3. That's all there is to it. Find 2 points. How much do you go up? How much do you go over? So let's do it on our green line. I pick a point. I know exactly the x and y coordinate. Dun, 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 right here. I know exactly the x and y coordinate. From this point here, I go down, which is -1. Up. And then I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, which is positive. My slope of my green line is -1 over 4. Instead of going up, I went down, and down is negative. And then I went to the right, which is positive. That's all there is to finding the slope. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to graph some lines. I want to graph (2x) minus 3y equals 6. The way we're going to do this, and we're only going to do this one day, and then we're going to find an easier way. Solve for y, and then we're going to make a table of values. Table of values. And our table of values is going to have an x and a y. Y is the dependent variable. Dependent variable. It's the result. And x is the independent variable. Independent. All right, and you've talked about this in science class. So let's solve for y. Minus 2x minus 2x. We get -3y equals -2x plus 6. And then we divide everything by -3. Now, the way I want you to do this is to divide each term by the -3, and we get y equals 2/3 x minus 2. It needs to be written just like this. And there's a reason for it that we'll find out down the road. All right, so let's see if we can do this. I want you to pick, that wasn't supposed to happen. I want you to pick, how did that happen? I want you to pick 3 values for x, the independent variable. I am always going to pick whatever the denominator is. Denominator is 3, I'm picking 3. And the opposite, because I don't want fractions. And I'm always going to pick 0. 0 makes our life easy. And now we calculate the result. What is the value when x equals 3? So we have 2/3 times whatever x is minus 2. 2/3 times whatever x is minus 2. 2/3 times whatever x is minus 2. So x can be 3, x can be 0, or x can be negative 3. Well, our 3's cancel. 2 minus 2 is 0. The result is 0. 2/3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. My result is negative 2. Negative 3, I get a negative result. My 3's cancel. Negative 1 times 2, negative 2 minus 2. I get negative 4. And now we graph. So, we plot our 3 points. 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0. 0, negative 2, 0, negative 2. Negative 3, negative 4. X direction, left is 3. Y direction, down 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have enough to plot our line. Now I want you to plot the line all the way through the graph, and our line will look like this. What is our slope? Why, we go up 2, right 3. Our slope is 2 over 3. And again, this should be a review. All of this should be a review from Algebra 1. All right, I hope this makes sense and isn't too much. But like I said, it is review. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.